Just want to follow up briefly in light of the Harvey Weinstein thing and this sort of Joe Rogan conversation we were having the other day. There's this whole cluster of people that, you know, on one hand, obviously I have no respect for, like a Dave Rubin type. People like Rogan, who I think it sucks. I think, yeah, he's facilitating a lot of our alt-right garbage, but I have found him entertaining. I have found him interesting. I've enjoyed his show at times. And then this kind of whole broader cluster of people, like this guy Jordan Peterson, has become very trendy in this sort of kind of like soft neo-reactionary YouTube. And there's a lot of stuff to pick apart here with this sort of obsession with, you know, campus culture and PC run amok and all of this stuff. And I think it's very easy, if you want to, we can always identify some excess of a campus somewhere. More substantively, I think there's people who are on the actual left who are not opponents of social justice and understand that things like misogyny and sexism are in fact structural things that we need to overcome as part of any serious justice-oriented politics. But we have a critique of the kind of dumb wokeism of Twitter and BuzzFeed, and there's a substantive critique, and that's very important. And that's the kind of part of that interwar between the left and liberals. But I just, was thinking in light of, like, you look at these falls, Harvey Weinstein, Roger Ailes, and just these grotesque, disgusting monsters who used positions, and Bill Cosby, I mean, you can put on the list as well in a different way, but certainly on the list. Just in the sense that he wasn't a CEO. But he was certainly someone who obviously had a lot of power and exercised it to systemically abuse women. That's like the broader reality of this so-called out-of-control SJW culture. So for every like dumb story you could find about, maybe this campus thing was stupid, or maybe even in fact this argument about identity is actually problematic from a left perspective, not something that Rogan or Jordan Peterson is going to articulate, but they can find, hey, some campus story that's silly or whatever. Just remember that the broader trend and the broader context of a society that takes racism, sexism, structural abuse seriously is that we're just getting the tiniest. I mean, because imagine the endless amounts of abuse, as an example, in terms of sexual harassment in a work environment that still exists and is not addressed. The fact that we're even getting an inkling of it, of an Ailes or a Weinstein, is definitely in large part due to the evolving standards of a society which says things like that are fundamentally unacceptable. And that's the actual work. That's what the real conflict is over about a conversation about structural sexism, as an example. It's not, this professor tweeted something goofy. This argument about a video game. It's about, is it safe to work? Are you being sexually assaulted at your profession? What kind of trade-offs do you need to make as a woman, right? And I just think that that's important to note as well, because so many people are getting lost in reactionary arguments, but they're also just getting lost in really fundamentally trivial nonsense that even if we were to agree with, would still be at the bottom of issues to worry about. And the broader trend of pushing these issues to the forefront obviously is vital for overcoming real things, not like, oh my God, these kids don't want Ann Coulter to talk at college. They are so sheltered. But like, how did somebody run a major media conglomerate for several decades and abuse scores of employees? What's that about?
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos